The HTC One seems to be the third best-selling smartphone in the US. Samsung and AT&T to launch a Galaxy Note 8.0 very soon. And believe it or not, Huawei is seriously considering buying Nokia. I'm Jaime Rivera. And whether we win, lose, or draw today, drinks on a Tuesday is always a good idea. This is Pocketnow Daily. Let's start today off with some product releases. Those of you curious of the Galaxy Note 8.0 from Samsung, well, it wasn't cheap to buy it necessarily unlocked out there in just a Wi-Fi model. Now it's going to be available on AT&T for $399 after a 2-year contract, which is still not cheap, but you can also acquire it as a bundle if you buy any Galaxy S4, Galaxy Note 2. You can also bundle the tablet for $199 after the typical 2-year contract. Obviously, this is probably not the best tablet in the world, but it is the best form factor for Note input, so links down below for a full review. Then let's move over to Sony and T-Mobile, as the carrier has now confirmed that they'll be the exclusive partner to be launching the Sony-Xperia-Z. And sadly, that's it. I mean, there was no other news on specific dates, pricing points. They just said that they'll be launching the Xperia-Z in the next couple of weeks. And it's just sad to see that it took Sony 6 months to land a carrier, and not the biggest carrier in the US as well, but still, you know, the Sony Xperia-Z is a good product. Links down below to the review, and we'll keep you posted as soon as they consider that the weeks are done, which there are 52 weeks in the year. Now let's move over to HTC, and specifically the HTC One, as we've got some good news. Analysts at Barron's are already claiming that this is the third best-selling smartphone in the United States. Apparently the company is selling as many as 1 to 2 million units every month, and it's really good to see that HTC is finally getting a break after so many years of bad results. Obviously the third place is this, the first place is the iPhone 5 and the Galaxy S4, and even though these numbers, you know, between these two phones and the HTC One are dramatically different, you know, it's great to see that the HTC One is getting the glory that many of us expected after our review, so stay tuned for more. Now, speaking of HTC, some odd news did make the headlines today, as 2 ex-marketing employees that have left the company after the full exodus that's been happening recently have just started their own smartphone company, and it has nothing to do with Shaquille O'Neal, but it's called Kazam. Yeah, I know the image is not related, but still. Kazam, what does this mean? They're not specifying if they're actually building smartphones or software, but apparently their intention is to offer devices for the European market, which does mean smartphones anyways, but still, it's kind of hard to see how this could ever succeed if as marketing employees they could never make the company, you know, HTC actually sell smartphones more than they actually already did, but let's see how that goes. And finally, for the interesting news of the day, Huawei. Yeah, that is a smartphone company that I rarely talk about, but they're making headlines today, and I'm willing to talk about them because, well, first of all, they were in London today announcing their new and incredibly thin Ascend P6. And that's all I'm going to say about the phone. Even more interesting is the fact that after the event, company executives were claiming that they've been in serious conversations with Nokia to acquire the company. And apparently Nokia is extremely open to being bought by Huawei. Just think about this. I mean, years ago this would have been the other way around. Nokia was in the power of buying a lot of Huawei's, not just one. But another interesting point is that apparently these company executives have nothing good to talk about Windows Phone, even though they do sell Windows Phones. So apparently if they do make the acquisition or merger, they will also be ditching Windows Phone for Android. But that leads me to the question of the day. What do you feel about Huawei acquiring Nokia? Do you think that that would actually benefit Huawei or benefit Nokia? I think that it would actually benefit Huawei more than it would benefit Nokia. I'm not sure that this is actually the way that Nokia could strive if they would actually continue to strive after being acquired, but leave us a comment down below. I have my reserved thoughts about this, but anyways. Of course, as always, for an earlier scoop of everything that's happening in the smartphone and tablet world, make sure you follow us on Pocketnow.com, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at Jaime_Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you tomorrow.